Hey Nines, you go breezy on this one.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Rhymes Over Ramen. I'm your host, Jay Holland. Today I'm joined by my co-host,
Wallace.
and our special guest today, fellow MC, Camp Nas member, Murdock.
What's up?
So how you been? What's going on with you?
I've been good, man. I'm just taking it one day at a time, trying to survive through the current world being on fire and whatnot, you know? So,
Everything is literally on fire right now.
literally. So, I'm taking it one day at a time, just still in like the promo cycle for my last album and starting to get ready to hop back into some new beats and hopefully start working on some more music for another project next year. Hopefully. I didn't promise that. Don't take my word on it.
I was gonna say, when can we expect to hear new music from you?
Yeah, I'm 3 albums in, and I'm on a cycle of every 2 years. I'm trying to shorten it down, maybe like a year and a half.
Marvel
you know,
cycle,
yeah, but that's just the way it's worked out for the last 3 albums. So I'm not gonna say another 2 years to the next one, but that's what history tends to repeat itself. So
So-
we'll see what happens.
Before we talk more about music, what are we eating today?
Oh, well, today I've got shrimp ramen with garlic. You got shrimp ramen with garlic, and you got the chicken.
With garlic?
No garlic. I mean, if you want some garlic, I think I got a little oil over there. Look
I
you up.
love my garlic, man.
Oh, I got you.
It's pretty good though.
I appreciate it. See, at least some people appreciate my cooking.
I'm hungry, bro. I can't even have appetite.
So, let's just chalk it up to good vibes and
Hey
good taste buds.
go breezy
I think people being on the show, like, they know they gotta eat ramen anyway, so like they, don't eat before they get here.
Are you trying to say that they come hungry, so anything they put in their mouth is good? You know what? How about you make the ramen next time? What that?
That's not what he said. That's
That's what you
brought
took
up.
it as.
That's
What you
what I-
internalized it as.
I'm gonna take it out. I'm
Took it
gonna
as a
take
personal attack.
And I did take it as a personal attack. I'm slighted, and this ain't the first time he did it. So
You
made-
told me, I said, should I bring anything? He said, bring an appetite. Bet. I had breakfast. That's it. This interview is about to be the 2 y'all talking.
As long as you
We'll
enjoying
this down
yourself,
in
as
a
long
minute.
as you enjoying yourself, I'm good. As long as you enjoying it, we're good. When we get a little more money in the budget, we'll order out. So I don't gotta work the pot anymore.
Doing double duty back there. Want to get you a chef hat?
Mm-hmm.
Swap it out.
I'll wear it during the show.
Alright, Chef Wallace.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I'm making a mess of myself.
how's the promo going on
Too
with the
hungry.
album? How's everything going with that?
It's going pretty good. It was a weird release because I released it in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. So
That's just more time for people to listen
Did
to.
your tactics have to change with like your promo?
yeah, it had to be all online. I mean, it's usually all online because that's just the way that the internet is right now. But I was like in the middle of booking an album release show, and then coronavirus started like getting a little closer to the United States, and I was just like trying to finalize the details, and then like a couple of things shut down, and then dude stopped responding to me, and I was like, alright, that's not gonna, there ain't no album release show no more. So yeah, everything had to go online. Luckily, I had shot all my music videos in advance and the album in advance. I had everything done for the first time before I started promoting my album, which was the most stress-free album release cycle yet. But then coronavirus had to come, so I had to improvise a little bit.
I find it interesting because with the pandemic and the virus going on, it's like more people are on their phones. So it's like it's kind of better for artists, to make light of the situation and not light, but like make the most out of the situation and capitalize off that. Where like people are on their phones, they have nothing else to do.
Yeah,
Why not hit them with some new content, some new music, videos?
definitely. So I was just dropping videos throughout the whole pandemic, and then like topping it off with the album and just doing like heavy, advertisements and the promos and all that stuff, and it went pretty well. This was my, I hope that it happens with every album, that it gets bigger and bigger, but this was my best release yet in terms of views and streams and stuff. I don't know if it had to do with the pandemic and people being at home, or if it was just because, every album, I'm just like getting a larger fan base. But either way, it went well in the end, so I rolled with the punches, and like you said, I think people just like being home and like needing some sort of escape and like something else to like do while they're stuck at home all day.
What's
So,
your thoughts on like streams, like as far as like the percentage that artists get off streams?
bullshit. So the stream percentage is so low, like the money that you make, it's like such a tiny fraction of a cent, especially for people who don't know and who are using Spotify and whatnot right now. It's funny because you get the highest amount of money from Tidal, which is what I use specifically for that. It doesn't have the best interface, I'll say that. I think Spotify and Apple Music has to be in that, but I use Tidal because it gives the artist the most amount of money. But nobody's on Tidal, so you ain't really getting much money to begin with from it. But so like,
Because the title is more expensive too, and I think it's for that reason.
Yeah.
To give the artist more.
Exposure, but that was gonna ask, like, do you think that the trade-off between, like, sure you have it up on Tidal and everything like that, and those are streaming services, but the traffic that you're getting,
it's mostly Spotify.
it's mostly
yeah.
Spotify?
Spotify is more like artist friendly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed, like they have more partnerships and placement for independent artists. Like you can get playlisted without even being on a major label. You can
Yeah.
submit it. So
I got into a lot of Spotify playlists, which helped a lot with the release and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, either way, the breakdown of how much you make from each streaming service is still a fraction of a cent. So like,
Well, did you do like a poll, like asking like, oh, where'd you guys find me? Where'd you hear about me from?
no,
Just
really.
to get an idea where all the traffic's coming from, so you could focus on that particular platform.
I mean, you can see it. There's like backdoor websites for Spotify and Apple Music, and through whatever distributor you use, you can like go to the backdoor and like see like how many streams you're getting, and like who's watching it. You see your demographics, the age range, like where they're listening. It's really creepy, but it's good for like advertising, you know? Yeah, exactly.
Because you need that information to target where you're gonna target and then grow from there.
Yeah.
So I do that for teachers, so I have to get all this data for the kids and then use that to help them grow and tailor it. So I figured the same approach should be out for.
Yeah, definitely. And streams the most by far on Spotify. So I try to focus the most on that. But I always try to plug like, my Bandcamp where people can like literally buy the album. And Bandcamp's been doing an awesome thing like I think the first Friday of every month, you get 100% of the proceeds. So like, every time one of those Fridays comes up, I have people buying like a bunch of merch.
Bandcamp gives you a lot of data
great.
too. Like it tells you if they listen to the whole track, exactly what second they stopped at when they listen to it or skip to the next song. Like they give them a lot of insight. Sorry, they let you sell merchandise too.
Yeah,
What
straight
is it?
through the site.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They take a percentage of that.
A little bit, but they give you the most. Like if I get like someone buys my album for like $10, I'm still getting like $8 to $9 from it. So like that's more than like if somebody streams my album. So Bandcamp, shout out, y'all are great. We just need more people who are doing that to support and all of us. But I'm still getting a lot of support, getting a lot of streams, getting a lot of video views and shares, and like I'm finding like new people are discovering my music and stuff, and in like different geographical locations and stuff. So it's super cool. I'm excited. It was a fun release.
Did you have anybody reaching out to you like collaborate in the future, anything like that?
Yeah, I shout out to Drew Diesel. He's an artist from Florida who found me through my single Class Act and reached out to me, and we did a collaboration on a song called Vixen, which came out about a month or two ago.
Oh.
Yeah, so and there's a couple other artists and producers who hit me up and found me online. Actually, one of the producers who had my song Look at Me Now, who produced that song on my new album, I met online because he saw the video for All Good with me and Leroy Green, and he reached out to me. And then and you get a lot of like sketchy Instagram people like, hey, I see you're a musician and I'm a bot, and but like he was like an actual guy, and I like checked out his music. I was like, oh wow, your beats are like actually really good, and not like you're a beat maker with like 10 followers and like so like it was cool to like actually like see like real people reaching out to me who like already have stuff up and like wanting to collaborate and stuff. So yeah, internet's dope, and it's been cool like meeting new people and collaborating with new artists and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to Chef Slam and to Drew Diesel, two people who found me online who I later worked with.
One thing I liked about your live shows when you was doing shows is the type of crowd that came with it. Because I've done like shows where it's like it's random people there, or it's just like it feels very just like the artists are there to perform and go home.
Yeah.
But when I performed at your show, it was me, you, Leroy Green, and it felt like everyone was there just to enjoy being there. And that's
Yeah,
something
it felt like a party.
yeah, it was a
It felt like
party. So it was more so like my shows going forward, I kind of tried to focus on what did I want in regards to like the atmosphere and the vibe, and make sure people have like a takeaway from it. Because that definitely your event was something like that was refreshing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Shows.
I had a show not too long ago, an outdoor show, which was nice. And the same thing, like, it was like, I was there with Leroy Green. He was the DJ for the night, and we did a couple of our songs. And it was like an indie rock night, but like there was like 2 hip hop artists in the beginning, and it was a cool like cross genre. I like playing with other genres sometimes too, because you know you find people who like might kind of be into hip hop, but they don't really like go out of their way to find new artists, and then they'll hear you. And they'll be like,
the good thing is also because you guys had that show outside. Everybody's claiming to get out now, want to be out.
Oh yeah.
Now, especially when you had like some of the acts that you had. Like I missed it, but I know you're doing great. Like Jay said, you're doing great shows. So everybody wants to show. Even if you just featured on it, people still come out to see you and other people too. But
yeah,
for the most part, it's just a party whenever you're out there. I haven't been able to perform in a while. So then finally being able to come outside, like did you like the crowds come out and everything like that?
Yeah, it was great. People were so hyped just to like have live music, and like that was my first show since like January, and this was in September, I think. So yeah, so it was like, what was that, 9 months, like almost?
Yeah,
like
almost
I had a whole baby in
Yeah,
between.
there
Like
you
it
go.
was a like I did it. I've been good during
So a
quarantine.
lot of people have
Yeah.
babies on.
Yo,
too many
Max,
people have
next year's
kids
about
out
to
here.
go crazy.
Orange baby.
But yeah, people were so hyped to be outside, and like everyone was super respectful, wearing their masks and like social distancing and stuff. But like people were just like, and like really into the music too. You know, like people coming up afterwards and like trying to get more information, or like you can like see them like real antsy and like dancing during the sets and shit like that. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
'cause I ran into I met up with Leroy and Timmons at the time afterwards, and then they stayed for the whole show.
yeah, so did I. Yeah.
And we linked up with other people too from who came to the show. They were saying like, yo, the show was dope. Everybody was lit. Everybody was there. People were very chill. There were goats there. So
Yeah.
there was goats. So
Shout out Goat Stop.
shout out goats. So, but they said it was an awesome time. So it was nice to see though. It was like that vibe. You need that vibe.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't there, like me, I felt everybody had like a positive vibe, and they came to it like, oh, I'm glad y'all had a good time.
Mhm.
So you need more of that. You
I
need-
appreciate artists who take time to like really focus on every aspect of their performance, whether it's just having the lights of the room be a certain color when a certain song comes on, or giving out glowing sticks or whatever to match the song tone and stuff like that. So I appreciate that about you when I see you perform, because I can see that you take time to really put the whole show together, and you understand because you come from theater background.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
every detail is important. Like you can really make a moment by just focusing on the whole production of the song and the show.
I appreciate that. And yeah, like you said, I come from, those who don't know, I went to college and I studied theater for a long time, and that kind of like got me into music, and then that also got me into like performing and throwing events and stuff like that. And anyone could say, like, especially like my girl, like when I'm throwing a show, I'm like the biggest ball of like stress and nerves. Like I'm so stressed the entire time until like it's over, and then I just like have a bunch of drinks and chill, because I'm just like so like anxiously like stressed on like making sure that it goes right, and, everyone's having a good time, and if there's like hiccups, I like try, because I've been to too many shows where, and not to shout out to everyone who's throwing shows, because it's an amazing thing, but I've been to too many shows where it's just like there's like 30 minutes in between acts because like people aren't there or like not ready and stuff like that, and then like
It's always the
people
one guy that's
leave.
like, oh, put me 3 acts or put me first or something like that, and it throws up the whole thing. So
Yeah, exactly. So I try my best to have everything go on time, have everything planned ahead. Like, yo, this is the order you're going in. If you have a problem, let me know so we can fix this now. Be here an hour before, and then like sometimes I even lie a little bit and I tell them that they're going on later, or like I tell them that they're going on earlier, and then I'll be like, oh, guys, push back a little bit just to make sure that they got there on time, because I don't need somebody showing up the minute their set starts, and then
So no, go do sound check, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give him a couple minutes or whatever.
So speaking more about music, what are you bumping?
I've been bumping the new Run the Jewels album a lot, Run the Jewels 4. I'm really into them, and they were kind of like the perfect album to come out during 2020, especially during like the heavy, hectic political climate that we're in. And they dropped the album like in the middle of like the Black Lives Matter protests, and it was such a like protest anthem album. So that one really stuck out to me, and I've been listening to it a lot. I'm listening to them. I'm listening to not rap music, but I really like a pop artist called Charlie XCX, and she dropped
I heard it.
yeah, she dropped a quarantine album that was really good, and I feel like there's been a lot of like, I feel like whenever there's something that happens and an album comes out of it, it can either be hit or miss. Like with the election, you know, there's a lot of protest music, it can either be hit or miss. And the quarantine, it's like there's gonna be a whole bunch of quarantine albums, and some of them are gonna be good, and some of them are just gonna be like, this dude was bored. So she dropped a quarantine album that was really, really good, and I was surprised, and I've been listening to that one a lot. I just like some of my other regulars. I like Brockhampton, I like Danny Brown. I've been getting into some older acts that I haven't listened to in a while, like Purity Ring and Phantogram. It's more like electronic singy kind of stuff, but trying to listen to like broaden my horizon. The Griselda, they all dropped albums this year. Conway and Benny specifically
Somebody just
were
dropped
really
one
good.
too the other
Yeah,
day, right?
Benny just dropped one with Hit Boy, and that one was really good.
Speaking of broadening horizons, what kind of hood ramen do you make at home?
I'm gonna be honest,
What kind of hood ingredients do you put in your ramen?
I don't really eat ramen like that. I go to Ani Ramen. Shout out Ani Ramen.
Shout out Ani Ramen.
Specifically, I like them. But I don't really make ramen at home. I feel like I'm so Spanish at home. I'm just cooking like chicken and rice and like steak and rice and like something meat with rice.
So what's your favorite ingredients of like chicken and rice? But
Garlic.
garlic?
Yeah.
Garlic? Are you put a whole you use garlic powder or you use actual cloves?
A little bit of both. You know, I cut up the garlic cloves, mix it in some butter, and bask it on the the chicken and steak and stuff like that.
Okay.
I've been getting into cooking during quarantine, which has been nice because I feel like
you're cooking.
saving money too,
Saving
man.
money, got all that ingredients. You're like, what can I do with this? I gotta make this last at least a week. So.
Facts. So I don't know. I don't really like make ramen that much at home, but if I were to make it at home, I'd probably just do a lot of the stuff that I see that they do at Ani Ramen and try to make it myself.
Okay.
Put that egg in there, put like a little piece of seaweed and some rice and shit.
Yeah, I really like the beef ramen. The beef ramen
beef ramen is good. What's your favorite ramen?
I like there's like a lemon chicken one. I forget what it's called, but that's the one I usually get.
If you could see yourself in any hip hop group, which group would it be in?
That's a good clarification because like if you're going like favorite hip hop group, like I really like Wu-Tang, but like I could not see myself in Wu-Tang. Like I have such a specific type of hip hop that not everybody likes, and so there's certain groups. I feel like if there was a group that I could fit into, I know it's a duo, but I feel like I have like a similar like style to like Run the Jewels. I try to make like something like
I can see that.
hyper, yeah. And I do like Brockhampton a lot, and I feel like they do a lot of very experimental things, and that's something I'm always trying to do, like experiment and like try different styles and shit. So I'd say like Run the Jewels and Brockhampton. Like I feel like I could slide on in there for like a song or two. Like we talk about like hypothetical alternate universe. Yeah, I'll be the third member of Run the Jewels. Let's do it.
One kid.
So around the time this episode in particular airs, it'll probably be around Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what is your favorite Thanksgiving meal to go to?
I like ham.
Ham?
I'm a ham guy. My mom always cooks like the spiral ham with some like pineapple and like glaze and stuff on that, and that's like always my go-to. I've never been much of a turkey guy. I played myself for many years because I'm a very picky eater, and I'm getting out of it now as an adult. But as a kid, I was a very picky eater, and I would never eat stuffing because it looked weird. And then, like, even if it looked weird, if it smelled weird, I wouldn't touch it. And then, like,
Hey, nah, she go crazy.
later in my life, I finally tried stuffing. And I was like, this shit is amazing. And so now I'm really into stuffing and Thanksgiving.
You gonna make your own this year?
Nah. Leave that to my
No, you
mom.
said you
Leave that to my mom and my aunties.
I don't want to mess too much up.
Yeah, I'm there for moral support, you know. Ham stuffing and mac and cheese.
I'm a big mac and cheese.
Yeah,
Love
mac and
big
cheese
mac and
guy as
cheese.
well.
My family always makes me my own tray, and sometimes I'll just show up on Thanksgiving. I'm like, all right, got my tray. Thank you. See y'all later. Love y'all. And I
You just did? Bro,
Look.
Thanksgiving is about the family.
No, hold on.
They make
Don't
you
take
your
it
own
out of
tray.
context. Don't take it out of context.
This man gets his own tray.
Yeah.
Doesn't spend any time with his family.
I spend some time with them. I sit down.
Sometime on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, because I see them all the time. All right. So. All right, guys. So at this point in the segment, we have our artists have a nice bowl of spicy ramen. Got a little bit of sriracha to it, some more heat, and they're gonna have to spit 16 bars. Go hot 16. So we're gonna ask you to take a few bites, take a couple slurps.
Slurps too?
Yep, couple slurps.
Yeah, you gotta embrace the
Yeah.
broth.
Breathe it in too. Breathe it in.
Let it,
Breathe in.
marinate.
We're still experimenting with the formula, but
And I'll give a heads up to y'all and the viewers at home. I was raised with my mom, and she does not like spicy foods. It's interesting for a Hispanic Latino family. And so she did not give me any spicy food growing up. So I grew up with a zero tolerance for spicy food. And in the more recent years, I've been trying to, as I said before, I was a picky eater. I've been trying to branch out and add a little bit of spiciness, maybe some mild sauce to my tacos and whatnot. So I used to have no tolerance for spicy food. Now I have a little bit of tolerance, but I'm gonna take a wild guess that this is gonna be above my tolerance.
we're trying to set markers for you, so that way you know not to touch this anymore, and then
This is just pushing me to the next level. So we'll see how it goes.
we believe in you. We got it.
Spice and ramen kind of go hand in hand, so I think you'll enjoy it.
It's not a question if it's gonna taste good or not. It's a question on if it's gonna overheat my mouth. But let's do it.
That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear.
Yes. Indulge.
Put the broth too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. There you go.
Like
Oh,
they
that
can't.
broth. Yeah, that lemonade. Take one more bite. Yeah. My condition is optimal, overcoming my obstacles. Autobody deceptions, I spit bars to your optical. Go without his hammer, still worthy but unstoppable. Ruler of every realm, I'm warned about in chronicles. Your monocles half off, your vision is impossible. I got the mind stone, now give me space, I'm astronomical. Your ass has gotta go, ain't you notice you on the bottom row? Riding waves, I'm nautical while I'm spitting a lava flow. Ain't no settling down, the day of reckoning's now. You're dying in the hood while they're developing town, and y'all are questioning now. You really questioning how? Cause the rate I'm moving should leave y'all trembling loud. Making records like I'm in this, only lines I cross the finish. I'm building up every day while y'all let foundations diminish. That's the premise. Every day I live a rise in action. Life is always throwing lemons. Most people can't even catch it.
That was hot and spicy. I like it.
This shit is hot and spicy, bro. I can't feel my mouth.
I don't think
Yeah.
Give it up for us.
I couldn't feel my tongue at one point. Got all tongue-tied. I don't know why I keep going back for more. It's because I'm very hungry, but it hurt me.
So that's gonna end on Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for that. That statement right there. Thankful for that.
But since it is Thanksgiving, we want to show that we're thankful for you being here. So
No.
here's your parting gift.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We got here. Oh shit. Who would have guessed?
Got some own special ramen.
We got some ramen. And what else? some gear.
So you got a Primate shirt.
Shout out to Prime. New fashion, new clothing company. Yeah, thank y'all. I appreciate this a lot.
You got it, man.
And before you go, where can people find your music and more of you?
My name is Murdock, M-U-R-D-O-C-K. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Murdock_music. Like I said before, MURDOCK_music. You can find my music on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, Bandcamp. You want to help a brother out with some money. My latest album was a collab album with my boy Jack Blary. I Finally Feel Alive. And you can find that on all streaming platforms. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Thanks again for being a guest on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Before we go,
Keep going back.
I have the final slurp.
Cheers.
Boys.
And this is Ramen Over Ramen.
All I see is colors outside, lucid dreaming, losing my mind. Wish upon a star so high. All I hope was you would be mine.
How'd you guys enjoy the ramen?
Uh,
I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear this from you.